These are the learning objectives for this chapter. Click Next to begin your learning. Many documents use tables to present information in an organized fashion. In this chapter, you will learn how to create a table from scratch and from a table template. You will also see how to create a table by converting existing text into a table. You will apply styles and formats to a table and explore ways to modify the table layout. A table enables you to align text evenly using vertical columns and horizontal rows. The area where a column and row intersect is called a cell. After creating a table, you can format it in a variety of ways. Let's create a table that lists fossil findings at a Great Escapes destination. The Insert tab contains the Table tool. Word offers several ways to create a table, which are contained in this menu. Take a moment to learn about each method. Let's create a 3x3 table using the top section of the menu. To do this, position the mouse pointer to the indicated square and then click it. Good! The Table Tools Design tab and Layout tab are now displayed on the ribbon. You can use these tabs to format the appearance of the table as well as add and delete rows, columns, and cells. Before formatting the table, however, you're going to add some text. To do this, you position the insertion point in the cell to contain the text, and then begin typing. The insertion point is already in the first cell, so let's enter text there. To move the insertion point to another cell, you can click in the cell. Pressing the Tab key moves the insertion point one cell to the right. If the insertion point is in the last cell in a row, pressing Tab moves it to the beginning of the next row. Good! Here are some additional procedures for moving the insertion point. Shift plus Tab. Move to the previous cell. Up arrow, down arrow. Move to the cell above, below. Left arrow, right arrow. Move to the cell on the left, right. Instead of typing text into a table, you can copy and paste it from another location. Word also enables you to convert a block of text into a table if the text is formatted correctly. This works both ways. You can also convert a table into plain text. The fossil information needed for this table happens to be contained in another document. Let's convert it to a table instead of entering it here. For your convenience, the document will be opened. As you can see, the information in this document is difficult to read. The author used tab stops to arrange the text, but it is not aligned properly. To view the tab stops, let's show the formatting marks. Word can convert text to a table based on the tab stops, paragraph marks, commas, or other symbols in the text. In this example, the text will be arranged into a table based on the tab stops and paragraph marks. Each tab stop will create a column, and each paragraph mark will create a new row. The first step is to select all of the text to convert. Next, you need to access the Table tool on the Insert tab. The Convert Text to Table command opens a dialog box where you can specify conversion options. Let's take a look. In the Convert Text to Table dialog box, you can specify the exact number of columns for the table. By default, Word has entered 3 columns based on the tab stops in each row. The lower section is used to tell Word which symbols to use to create the columns. The tabs option is selected by default, which is the correct symbol for this example. Now let's apply these options to the text. Great! Notice that the formatting marks have changed from tab stops and paragraph marks to end of cell marks. Each formatting mark in a cell represents the end of the cell. Now use the keyboard shortcut to hide the formatting marks, and then deselect the table. Once you create a table, you can format it in various ways. You can quickly format a table using the Table Tools Design tab. The Table Tools tabs are currently available because the insertion point is located inside the table. The Table Styles gallery offers many built-in styles. Several styles are currently visible in the Table Styles group. You can view all styles by clicking the More button, or you can display just the next row of styles by clicking the scroll down arrow. Let's look at the next row of styles. You can view a preview of each style by moving your mouse pointer over each style. Take a look at each preview and see how it affects the table in the document. Now select the Light List, Accent 5 style. If the pre-formatted style isn't exactly what you want, you can change some of the style options and apply additional formats. The Table Style Options group enables you to add and remove the formatting from specific row and column types in the table. For example, the Header Row option displays the first row of the table in a different format to indicate that it contains the column headings. Take a moment to read the screen tips for each item in the Table Style Options group. Let's see what the table looks like without the header row formatting, and then restore it. Good! In addition to modifying style options, you can apply individual formats to the table. First, you need to select the entire table. You can do this by clicking the Table Move handle. Now let's add some dark borders to the table using the Borders menu. Here you can select a specific border to apply, or you can use the last option to open the Borders and Shadings dialog box. The All Borders option applies borders around the perimeter of the table as well as around each cell. Let's apply that, and then deselect the table. The borders help define each cell in the table. Next, you're going to apply background shading to the cells containing the finder's names. To select just these cells, click the first cell and then shift-click the second cell. Now let's apply the shading. When you deselect the cells later, you will get a better view of the new shading color. To format the text that is contained within the table, you can use the standard formatting tools on the Home tab or the mini toolbar associated with the selected text. Let's use the mini toolbar to add bold formatting to the two cells containing the finder's name. In addition to adding colorful formatting to the table, you can modify the table layout in many ways. For example, you can change row heights and column widths, as well as add and delete rows and columns. The Table Tools Layout tab contains many options for working with rows, columns, and cells. Let's take a look. Now take a moment to learn more about each group on the tab. The cell size group enables you to change the height and width of rows and columns. You can enter exact dimensions using the width and height boxes, or have Word automatically size the cell to fit the data. To set all rows or columns to the same height or width, you can use the Distribute Rows and Distribute Columns buttons. Right now, each row in the table is a different height. Let's select the entire table and then see how it looks with all rows the same height. You can also manually change row and column sizes by dragging a row or column border. The height of the first row is now too large, so drag the indicated border to decrease its height. Good. Now let's increase the width of the right column to exactly 2.2 inches using the width box. The insertion point must first be positioned anywhere in the column. Notice that increasing the width of the column also increased the width of the entire table. The alignment group enables you to control how the text is lined up within the selected cells. The buttons on the left side of the group offer a variety of ways to align text. Let's align all of the text in the first row so that it is centered both vertically and horizontally within the cell. The first step is to select all the text in the row. You can do this by dragging the mouse pointer. Another way to create a table is by using one of the table templates offered by Word. A table template is a ready-made table, complete with data and formatting, which you can customize. Let's take a look. The table templates are accessible from the Table menu, which is located on the Insert tab. The Quick Tables gallery offers a variety of ready-made tables. Scroll down the gallery and then select the Double Table template. As you can see, the Double Table template displays data in two sets of 3 columns. The 3 columns on the left contain the same type of information as the 3 columns on the right. The table is also pre-formatted. From here, in this chapter, you learned how to create a table from scratch, as well as from a table template. You converted existing text into a table, and then applied styles and formats to the table. You also explored ways to modify the table layout by working with columns and rows.